Hi guys, this is me again. And to my Korean friends, 안녕하세요. That is hello in Korean for my English speaking friends. I've been watching a lot of Korean shows and I'm picking up on the Today I'm back to review this excellent series that just came on Netflix. It's called Chocolate, South Korean, and word of the day for Korea. Chocolate in Korean is chocolate. Can we all say chocolate? We're gonna learn Korean as we watch these shows. And chocolate is a classic K drama. You know, this is why we love them. You know, the word is simple, just chocolate, but the story is nothing but simple. It's about a boy who's being raised by a single mom. They run this restaurant in a fishing village. Very happy there with his mom. There's this fisherman who's also become a really good friend to the boy and the mom. He goes fishing, comes back, and gives him chocolates, Godiva chocolate. I'm assuming Godiva is sponsoring the show because we do see Godiva chocolates in the series. And we see a girl, young girl who comes to visit the restaurant who's very, very hungry. And the boy feeds her and she's so happy she breaks in tears. The boy says, look, come back at lunch, I'll feed you again, you don't have to pay me anything, and I'll also make you chocolate shasha. He makes the chocolate look so delicious. Look at this. OMG. Fortunately, what we found out is the girl never comes back and he wonders what happened to her. While the boy was waiting for the girl, grandma, first time meeting grandma from hell, and I mean, she's no joke, okay? She comes looking for him. We found out that his father, who passed away, was Hassan, and he had run away because he fell in love with the mother, and the reason why he eloped was because she was the daughter of their housekeeper. So it's almost like you're up here with status and your son marries the daughter of the housekeeper, and that idea of like classism becomes an issue. So because they knew it was not allowed, he eloped with her, he loved her, and that's why they were living in this fishing village. And when he passed away, she just continued to raise the son. But now grandma's coming back for her grandson. She's like, it's time for him to come to the city to get a proper education, okay? And really what we find out is the reason why she's doing this is because she's trying to groom him to take over their family business. Their family business is they own a hospital or hospitals, as well as a hospice hospital as well. Very well to do, very rich, obviously. And we later find out the reason why this grandson is very important. You have to watch to find out why, something to do with blood lineage and why he is more qualified than the other grandson. You have to watch that, that's very interesting. But what we find out is once they go to the city, the boys are raised to be very competitive against each other, and really to the point where they actually hate each other because grandma makes it obvious who her favorite is. The girl does come back, but unfortunately by the time she comes back, the boy has moved to Seoul with the mother for him to go get a good education like grandma wanted. So she's really, really sad because she was really looking forward to the chocolate. He promised chocolate shasha. Now we fast forward and we found that now the boy is all grown up, and so is the girl. And the boy grew up to become a doctor, a neurosurgeon for that matter, not just any doctor, a neurosurgeon. And he's being played by actor Kye-sang, and I've seen him before in something else, and his name is Khan in the show, Dr. Khan. And this episode opens up with him actually celebrating the memorial of his mother. We find out, unfortunately, when they moved to the city, his mother was actually going to buy him chocolate, and while she was in the building collapses and crumbles, and she dies. We also introduced to his best friend, who becomes a really supportive, almost like a brother to him. Almost he's the only one who loves him. First forward, and we see the cousin also grew up to become a doctor. He's not as good as Khan, but he tries to keep up with him. They are all in the family business. And then we also meet the girl. She grew up, and she's being played by Won is the name of the actress, but her name is Kye-sang. And the actor playing the cousin is Seung-jo, who's also known as Lee Jun, Dr. Lee, they called him. What we find out is Cha-young, who's the girl who's grown up to be older, has unfortunately anxiety attacks. She gets this once in a while, and we find out, unfortunately, she was also in that building that crumbled. She had gone there to wait for her mom, and the building collapses on her. And once in a while, she gets flashback, almost like that PTSD. And we'll soon find out that the reason why she survived is because there was a woman there who ended up giving her some chocolate, and kept her energy, told her not to give up until they were rescued. Unfortunately, by the time they were being rescued, the woman had passed away. The woman saved her life, which later we do know that that was Khan's mother. And the other thing we find out about Kye-sang is that she's become a wonderful chef. So she's at the hospital because she had her appendix removed, and she was outside, finds some food, because Dr. Kang had to run somewhere, and then he came back for his food and finds her. And this is the first time they actually meet as grown-ups. She's like, Lee Khan? And she's like, couldn't be. It's not the same guy, is it? End of this episode, Grandma is wanting somebody to go volunteer as doctors in Libya, Africa. And Dr. Khan is the one that is sent. At this point, we find out, unfortunately, when Dr. Khan was sent to Libya, he was caught up in an explosion and got hurt really, really badly. So his best friend has come to see the family and is begging for them to bring him back home for better medical. And really, it goes to show the rivalry. The cousin would care less, and it really breaks his friend's heart, and he's very sad. And then while he comes to sit outside, Cha-young had come to visit Dr. Khan, and she was hoping to tell him, hey, I'm that girl that you fed back in the village. But while she came, she finds out that he was sent to Libya and has been hurt there. And then the best friend is sitting there crying, gives him some tissue, becomes curious about the girl, and was like, who is that girl who was so kind when I was feeling low to give me tissue? And so he wants to get to know her more. He starts to pursue her and finds out falling in love with her to become his girlfriend. It's around Christmas time, and he's pretty much embarrassing her, like, be my girlfriend, you want to be my girlfriend? And she accepts, obviously. What is interesting is he's like, you know what, because you're my girlfriend and I love you, I also wanted you to meet someone else who's very important to me. Is my best friend. I mean, look, How crazy. Of all the people that could have been his best friend, it's Dr. Khan. So now, what is she going to do with her poor heart? You want to love this one, but your best friend is my first love? This is crazy. Oh, I feel so bad for her. Like, no, it can't be you. It can't be you. She's looking at him and he's like, do I know you? What does she say? What does she say? Have we met before? No. Lord have mercy. Then it's snowing. The first snow. So romantic. And they're both standing in front of her. Mercy. Really? Won-hae. No! This cannot be my life. Letters. Christmas. Oh, so heartbreaking. Look at them. I mean, they love each other. What is she going to do? Won-hae. I need you. I love you. Because I love you. I need you. I love you. So when Chang-young's character runs away to Greece, Dr. Khan asked his best friend, what happened between the two of you? Like, what's going on? Why did she run away? Like, why did she leave you? And his best friend said, I think there was another guy, but she just wasn't honest with me as far as that maybe she was in love with him and that's why she ran away. But, you know, no hard feelings or anything. And then to make the matters worse, we find out his best friend, like his brother, he's become a brother from another mother, is dying. He is he's deathly ill, and he only asked for one thing. He says, before I die, I would like to taste dumpling soup that Chang-young used to make. And his friend is like, what? You want me to go find that girl who left you, broke your heart in pieces, for her to make you soup? He's like, yep. Dr. Khan, out of love for his best friend, has to go looking for her. Khan finds out that she went to Greece, and so he gets on a plane and go to Greece to find her. Yang's character has enrolled to do a competition for like the best chef, and there's a prize obviously associated with it. And so you got all kinds of chefs. The brother is there to cheer her on. And then this happens. Would you like to taste the food? And look who says he wants to. Oh. She's like, what? Where did you come from? What is Dr. Khan doing here? Wearing his sunglasses, looking hot. She's like, this is my nightmare. He's like, I found you. Eventually, he's able to tell her that the reason why he was there is because he's dying, and the only one wish is that he wants you to make him your dumpling stew. And so that compels her to come back. So she comes back to the little kitchen and actually meets this lady. She's a wonderful chef, which we actually find out she is the director's ex-wife, and unfortunately has early onset of Alzheimer's, so she's becoming forgetful, right? So she's like, tells Chae-young, come on, help in the kitchen. She thought she was one of the new chefs, and then Chae-young just starts peeling onions, like, oh well, I might as well help, because I also do want a chance to make that dumpling stew for her ex-boyfriend. She sends the soup to him, and there's the dumpling soup. Like, that is it. Delicious. I like this part because he looks outside the window and he saw her. He was like, oh, she did come. She's the one who made this soup. And see, he's happy. He can die in peace. She was gonna head back to Greece, but she gets a letter from him saying, hey, I saw you came. You're the one who made me that wonderful dumpling stew. And he goes, I have one ask of you. Could you take care of my best friend? Could you take care of Khan? So she finds Dr. Khan. He still went fishing by himself. Like, oh my gosh, how sad. I forgot to mention that the father of Dr. Khan's best friend is being played by Won-hae Kim. He's a really excellent actor. I actually saw him in Strong Girl Bong-soon. He was really, really hilarious. So actually, it's a little different to watch him playing a serious role in this series. In that other show, he was playing like a drag queen. He had makeup on. He had nail polish on. He's wearing heels. Was acting like a drama queen, really, like extra. He goes, are you heading back to Greece? Because I hope you are. Because I hope to never see you again. He is so cold. So over here, we see Dr. Khan performing surgery. And unfortunately, he has developed a tremor. We all know for surgeon how important that is. Having your hand steady when you're operating, especially when you're operating on somebody's brain. We find out that when he was hurt in Libya, his cousin operated on him and did not remove a hematoma, and that has caused him to start having tremors, which he becomes very upset with his cousin. So what we found out is Kye-sang chose not to go back to Greece. She continued to help the chef in the hospice kitchen. Kye-sang has become very close to some of the patients. So here we see Dr. Kang, unfortunately, gets a message from the family. He's gonna be working at the hospice hospital. He's no longer working in the regular hospital because now he can't operate, which for him, it's obviously a serious demotion. Here we find that Kye-sang is having one of those panic attacks, and she goes to hide in a closet in the office. It's Dr. Khan's new office. So when he opens his closet to hang his coat, it's Kye-sang who's in there. And he's just like, what are you doing in the closet? And this is the first time he sees that she's got a problem. Like, what is going on? She's saying, oh, there's people in the building that are buried. Help them, help them. Because when she has those anxiety attacks, she has flashback. That we see in the series is that they introduce us to different patients. And so guess what? He's gonna be working in the hospice hospital. Chang-yan is working in the kitchen. So sooner or later, they're gonna bump into each other. Although the last time she saw him, he was like, I don't wanna see you again. I hope you go back to Greece. And then here we go, right? He's like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Right? And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe he's working here. Why are you not at the other hospital? Sorry, I've learned the song. It's played over and over. Picked up on the words. I wrote them down so I can remember them. That's what happens when you watch a foreign show. One of the nurses is being played by actress Hye-ran. I've seen her in many other shows. She was in When Chameleon Blooms. She was in that one. And I just finished watching Just Live Up to Your Name. She was in there. She's really, really good. And she's playing a nurse in this series. Let's just say, as Dr. Khan and Kye-sang continue to work in hospice, it's almost like he sees how good she is with the patients, and it's almost like they start to forget all the animosity that was between the two of them, and they've chosen to focus on what's important. You know, death has a way of doing that. Like when death comes close, we all start thinking about what's important, right? You don't start fussing about petty issues anymore, who you had a fight with. You know, at this point, they've become close by helping the hospice patients. Remember his fisherman friend who lived in the village where he grew up has passed away, and he needs to drive for the funeral, which is happening the next day. And he had been drinking, so then Chan-young offers to drive him because not safe to drive when you're drunk. I thought this was a nice moment in like start of them rekindling their relationship. She drove him all night, so she is exhausted. She falls asleep on the beach, and he finds her out there, and she is so tired. She falls asleep on his shoulder, and they're like stuck like that for hours. So after the funeral, Dr. Kang asks Chae-young, hey, let's go to my mother's restaurant and let me cook for you, right? As a thank you. And there he is. He still remembers how to cook. I love the shots of the food. Really good. And Khan is like, why does this scene seem familiar? Right? And then she goes, I'm crying because the food is so delicious. And he's like, it's familiar. So he's having a deja vu moment here, like, what is going on? Wait. Have you been here before? Have you eaten in this restaurant before? And she's like, yeah, I've been here before. Wait a second. Wait a second here. So, you remember me? She's like, yep. He's like, no. This whole time? You've been the girl? This whole time? This whole time? So at this point, he's asked her to stay longer. He wants to get to know her better. Can I? Love you. 사랑해. So at this point, we see Chan-young and Dr. Young are becoming close, and so she decides to tell him the truth. So to be honest, this whole time, it's you who I've been loving. You've always been my first love. And Dr. Kang is like, this is a lot. So he's walking on the beach just to like trying to process all that he's heard. You know, there's been a lot of people in this relationship, but at the end, it's just been two of us since the beginning. Since the day I met her, when I fed her. Ooh, yes. Look at this. 사랑해. So in the end, you have to watch to find out if Dr. Kang and Chang Young's character makes it. He feels like, you know what, I feel like I need to take some time to go away to find myself. And so we have to find out, you have to watch to find out if the two make it. And then you also have to find out what happens between the director and his ex-wife, who's now starting to have Alzheimer's. And then you also have to see how Dr. Khan's character reconciles with his family, if you will. His cousin, they both find out that the reason why they've always hated each other is because the family made them be competitive against each other, and the weight of the family business of running the hospital was what was ruining them. And they are almost kind of trying to find out where they need to be happy. And so you have to watch to find out what Dr. Khan decide. Does he go back to the hospital, or does he stay to work at hospice? What happens to the family business? I think in conclusion, excellent series where they use chocolate as a theme. And I liked how it showed, like, for someone like Dr. Khan, chocolate meant death, and that's why he didn't want to eat them, because that made him sad. For Chang Young's character, chocolate meant life, because that piece of chocolate that she was given by his mother is what saved her life. But at the end of the day, love is what, you know, everyone needs, if you will. And there's a part in the show where they say giving love is more important than receiving. How about the food? Yeah? And the song? Woo. I like that they have all the characters eating the food. Ooh. Thank you. 감사합니다.